Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, faculty, staff, members of the graduating class, ladies and gentlemen, it's a special pleasure for me to welcome back to our campus two lifelong educators and loyal friends of this university, Thea and John Patterson. Throughout their life partnership, John and Thea have devoted themselves to making a difference through hands-on, ground-level community engagement. They've spent decades together incorporating healthcare, education, technology, business, and faith into their work, transforming community challenges into opportunities here in Canada and around the world. Through their mindsets and actions, they have exemplified our university's core values, driven by their tireless focus on social justice, community development, and environmental stewardship. The Pattersons have been involved with many international and local organizations. These include ICA Canada, Canada World Youth, and the Canadian Federation of University of Women. Their shared devotion to community well-being has spanned the globe, including India, Hong Kong, Sub-Saharan Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, and Rwanda. In 2008, they founded Abbey Gardens in Haliburton, a non-for-profit charity comprised of a reclaimed open-pit quarry that provides economic and recreational opportunities for the community and experiential learning programs. Through their leadership, vision, and generosity, Abbey Gardens is being transformed into a green space with gardens, hiking trails, a food hub for local produce, and more. It is constantly changing with the addition of new enterprises and projects. As always, they are doing this through local community engagement and partnerships, all furthering Thea and John's vision to create opportunities for more sustainable living for their Haliburton community. Now, I really think the most uncomfortable people here today are probably Thea and John, and it's not just because of the sun. I think they really don't understand what all the fuss is about, as they are just doing what has come naturally to them throughout all their lives together. And this is working together with communities to first understand local needs and then co-create bold visions and actions together, believing in the power of vision, collective action, and the unbounded potential of the human spirit, serving as a catalyst by leading inclusive, participatory processes that build healthier communities and workplaces, and working incredibly, incredibly hard at making the world a better place. For them, building a successful IT company or a community healthcare program in India involves the same basic values, principles, and convictions. I want to share with you all an image. Picture, if you can, a depleted open-pit quarry in Haliburton, discarded once all its perceived commercial value has been mined away. It's no more than an afterthought of a commercial development that has just run its course. This is what John and Thea saw in 2008, but somehow they also saw much, much more. Now fast forward to August 2015. We are at the same quarry in Haliburton, but it's somehow been transformed into an open-air opera venue. Hors d'oeuvres, wine, and beer from a local microbrewery are being served to hundreds of guests, dressed to the nines, Haliburton style. I leave it to members of the audience in the know of what that might mean. Abbey Gardens is now hosting a Highlands Opera Studio concert featuring Canadian superstar tenors, jazz legends, and others, with, of course, Kurt Browning as Master of Ceremonies. And sure, why not? And that was in 2015. The best is yet to come. Thea and John, in many ways, this incredibly surrealistic scenario, for me, captures the completely outrageous vision, the courage to dream, and the dedication to community action that you consistently demonstrate through how you live your lives. Your ongoing community work is a legacy that will continue to have an impact well into the future. Thea and John, welcome home to Trent. Mr. Chancellor, through their shared dreams and actions spanning decades and continents, Thea and John Patterson truly exemplify the highest level of global citizenship with a concern for the well-being of the planet. We are in a much, much better place because of who they are and what they do. I have the honor and privilege today to present to you for degrees of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Thea and John Patterson.
Congratulations, John, Doctors John and Thea Patterson. It's now my pleasure to invite you to speak to Convocation.
I think John wants the last word, so I'm going first. Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, members of the graduating class, faculty, family, and friends. First, about this land. We are privileged today to be occupying land that for thousands of years was cared for by the First Nation founders of our nation. It is with humility and gratitude that we stand on this land. We are determined to learn from our First Nations brothers and sisters about what it means to care for the earth. It is with huge surprise and wonderment that I arrive on this stage at this stage of my life. In fact, much of my life comes to me as wonderment and encounters with the unexpected. I was born into a large Dutch family in Holland, but I had the good fortune to move to Ontario when I was 5 years old. This would be my first remembered experience of change, newness, moving, and of hearing a strange language. It may have been a tough transition, as I have resisted change throughout my life. I married John Patterson, my lifelong partner, thinking I would be moving with him from pulpit to pulpit across Ontario's small towns, black ministerial robes of 1970 United Church vintage billowing behind. But within 3 years, the world was beckoning our John. Not such a happy surprise for me, though. I never planned to live and raise a family anywhere but here in Ontario, in Canada. And I don't do well with surprises. Just ask anyone in my family. My natural propensity is to say, no, not so fast. In fact, let's not do it. So we come to that word partnership. It was the commitment to marriage and partnership that enabled my transition to accompany John and joined the not-for-profit organization with him that had us working in community development worldwide for 30 years. We moved to an Indian village in 1975 with our one-year-old daughter. I in a state of great reluctance, which persisted for some time. And then something happened. Picture a small hut in a poor village perched on the dusty, drought-prone Deccan Plateau of Maharashtra, India. It is made with sticks and mud, cemented with cow dung. But a young sari-clad woman beckons my daughter and me into her home and seats us on a small carpet covering the earthen floor. She quickly sends her 5-year-old son off to get a few teaspoons of tea and sugar and a cup of buffalo milk. Rekabai proceeds in her humble abode to serve me as gracious a cup of tea as I might have had in a royal palace. Changes and surprises have led to many such transformational moments. That experience shifted and expanded my worldview. I relaxed, and I let the natural hospitality of the village people teach me about their life as we worked for other benefits of the village. I was caught off guard totally and fell in love with that village and its people. And I did not want to leave my new family when it was time to move on. Yes, I was resistant when change was presented, yet my partnership and commitment to family and the larger vision prompted me to hang in there. And I arrived at that point where transformation happens. I found ways to engage in these new situations using my passion for teaching throughout the remainder of our working years. Every move to a new community or country presented a worthy challenge when seen through the lens of education, whether it be teaching in Hearst in Northern Ontario, training local Maliwada preschool teachers in India, enabling the setup of village women's institutes for bank loans and new businesses, teaching at the American Embassy School, New Delhi, the Hong Kong International School, HIV/AIDS training in Kenya, or leading children's peace camps in Haliburton, Ontario. Teaching has kept me grounded and focused. Teaching has been what my life has been about. So here's what I wish to leave with you today. You have no idea what will happen in your life, which way your path will go. You may be excited about it from the get-go, or be filled with reluctance and anxiety about a particular situation. But you have it within you to find your way forward as life pulls you one way or another. My commitment to my partner, John, my commitment to my children, Miriam and David, and the values and skills of my profession to teaching created that middle way, that clarity of moving forward for me as I was pulled one way and then another. So too, your passions and your commitments, the skills you have honed these past years of learning and living, are what you will draw on for support and encouragement and ultimately fulfillment throughout your life. I come to this moment and accept this award with surprise and wonderment. Thank you, John, for your incredible strength and purpose of vision. And thank you, Trent University, for this high honor.
Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, members of the graduating class, faculty, family, and friends. May I begin my remarks today with quotes from three of the exemplars who have inspired me in my life. Mahatma Gandhi was born on October 2nd, 1869. With his profound spirituality and belief in justice, Gandhi led the people of India in freeing their nation from the burden of British imperialism. He did so using non-violent resistance as his major weapon. When you visit Birla House in New Delhi, you see the place where he spent his final days. He was walking out to the garden of that house one day, 30th of January, 48, to lead his followers in prayer, when someone approached him and killed him with a handgun. The story of that Indian leader, Mahatma Gandhi, inspired the world. He lived a life of simplicity. Gandhi said, "Be the change. Be the change that you want to see in the world." Would that we might emulate such a person as this. Because of his participation in the resistance movement to the white control of South Africa, Nelson Mandela spent 26 years in South African prison. He emerged from that experience to become South Africa's first black president. He was a man of forgiveness, of strength, and gentleness. Mandela said, "As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give permission to other people to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others." Would that we might emulate such a person as this. Maud Barlow is the chairperson of the Council of Canadians, a citizens advocacy group. She was a leader in the campaign to have water recognized as a human right at the United Nations. That recognition occurred in July of 2010. She was awarded an honorary degree right here by Trent University in 2009. Maud said, "This I know. It is better to stand for something, to be about something, to make a difference, than to just take your place in the global shopping mall. Your life will be abundantly richer if you make the choice to make a difference." Would that we might emulate such a person as this. I grew up mainly in Ontario. Until I was 18, I spent all my summers on my uncle's farm, less than 10 kilometers north of here. Because we moved around a lot when I was young, Peterborough was always home. My parents had grown up here at Warsaw and Indian River, and many of our relatives always lived here and still do. Early in our own family's life together, Thea and I decided that our lives would be about service. We also decided that our lives belonged to the whole planet and not just a little corner of it. And so the adventure began. We trained for international service, leading to many amazing adventures. We twice met with Indira Gandhi, India's Prime Minister then, first in the village where we were working in Maharashtra state, an overnight train trip from Bombay, and then in her home in New Delhi. She had the humility to say to us that we are all stronger when we can share approaches to societal change across our borders. We met Surya Bandavatkar. He was a village leader who began to see himself as leading his village in a way that other villages might emulate. He saw himself and his fellow leaders as setting an example of what the lives of courageous change agents might look like. We met fabulous leaders in Maasai country in central Kenya. They were keen to learn about how they could tackle their HIV/AIDS challenge in their community. They ended up not only leading their own community into a truly innovative approach to handling it, but also 10 neighboring communities. The incidence of AIDS in that part of the country plummeted. We had the privilege of working with brave and powerful women in Rwanda who went on to conduct training sessions in child rearing in villages on the western edge of Rwanda, in the area where the genocide actually began. Men started participating in the care of their own children for the first time in that region's history. We assisted with the launch of a university in the southeastern region of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. With friends, we launched an information technology company globally, built on the strength of the amazing IT talent of an emerging generation in India. We built our company on the foundations of strong ethical human relations processes and respect for all cultures of the planet. We came back to Canada after 32 years abroad, looked around our new community in Haliburton, and as Dr. Asaf has said, we found an old, used-up gravel pit. What could be more exciting? With the participation of many local people and the support of both Fleming College and Trent University, we've built a demonstration of what a community can do with its wastelands. The things I consider to be most precious out of the things I learned in these years, honoring all peoples, and in fact all the earth community, is the only option for moving ahead as the human race. Number 2, every person you meet has the potential for contributing strongly to the betterment of the planet. Number 3, when you meet someone, remember that your influence may help to release their greatness. Number 4, and this is the final one of this little list, whatever the problem, community is the answer. There's no power greater than a community discovering what it cares about. That one I stole from Margaret Wheatley. And remember, be the change you want to see in the world. May I thank Trent University most warmly for this honor. We look forward to continuing to work with you in the coming years. And finally, it may not hurt to share a pledge for our time. I pledge allegiance to this earth and all the peoples on it, and to the ocean which surrounds us all creatures, all beings, the sky above, with understanding and compassion for all. Thank you.